Hey guys, Omni here. We got some Final Fantasy VII news from PlayStation's State of Play today. One of which is going to be focused around them basically upgrading the current version of the game and adding some more to it and re-releasing it on the PS5. And as well as two additional Final Fantasy VII spin-off games that's going to be coming to mobile. So we're going to be talking about these and watching these trailers, reacting to them all in this video. With the amount of them, I didn't want to make a video for each one of these. So we're just going to tackle all of the Final Fantasy VII stuff at once. So let's start off with the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, as they're calling it, which is the upgraded version coming to PS5 with some additional content. So let's go ahead, check it out. This is so loud. Definitely looks sharper. Roast. This game was so good.
A touching reunion.
Well, guys, your girl finally made it to Midgar.
Yuffie?
My name is Yuffie, materia hunter and elite special forces operative for the new Wutai government. We'll prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche, we got this.
I'm back.
Wait.
Ah, there you are. Someone's
Oh.
been expecting you. What took you?
Okay.
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I'm Sonan Kusakabe.
Ooh.
Where's Cloud? We lost him. You what?
He will be okay though, right?
Well, of course he will.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors. Cool. Should we say hi?
No, better not. After what they've done.
So they're
You gotta assume
changing a
shit
little
was
more
on
up
the
here, I
tail.
think.
Look, a Moogle. We gotta help.
So I guess she was in Midgar before you. In this iteration, she was actually working. Oh, ninja wall running. Oh, dude. Hell yeah, man. They're definitely expanding her background a lot more than just her being some child you happen to chance upon running into in the forest on your way to Junon. Holy shit.
Boss.
Guys should probably get moving.
Got it.
Whatever it is they're planning.
Definitely makes her more than your standard, like,
Deserve what's coming to him.
thief
They do.
and angsty Wutai person.
There you are.
Who are these jerks?
No clue. It just appeared.
What the fuck? I like that. I like them.
Now, let the hunt begin.
No. No. No, 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 no. No. You don't just sneak that in there. That's Vice. What the fuck? Hold on. That's Vice from Dirge of Cerberus. He's one of... Dude. I'm not sure who that was, to be honest. I don't recognize the face. Yeah. What is that? So is this being tied into it as well? These were the... Holy shit, dude. They're pulling everything in. If this is... They're pulling from Dirge of Cerberus for the remakes as well. This looks like the data fights, though. Like the... In the AR arena. I forget what it was called at this point. Oh, dude, that's cool. Oh, what if he's like an additional like super boss that they're adding in as like a tease to like more to come? Because we never actually got the conclusion to that story, let alone a bulk of the origin. You know, they only really covered Genesis at all in Crisis Core on PSP. And then, of course, Dirge of Cerberus came out and alluded back into that by revealing Genesis's revival thanks to his followers, which were led by Vice and his twin katana gunblades. And he was a badass, man. I love that. For like how clunky of a game Dirge of Cerberus was, the characters, at least in it, were phenomenally made. I really enjoyed that crew. So they're bringing that back in. They're really tying in everything. Because they brought in the novels, a bunch of characters from the novels into Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, like Kyrie, what's his name, Leslie, and a few other people. You know, they're really tying in all of Final Fantasy VII's lore into this new thing. And I'm curious to see where it's going, especially since Yuffie, I mean, when you meet her in the original game, it's only as, like I said, a random encounter. You can miss Yuffie and never get her in your party. And when you go to Wutai, you know, that's pretty much it. You don't get her after that point. And she's just there to steal your materia. That's like her whole thing. She's like, I'm the great ninja Yuffie. And she just tries to trick you and make off with your materia all the time. Like, but they're kind of giving her more depth and giving her more of a characterization in this. And I can't recall if there was ever any side lore that actually went into her actually being like an agent of Wutai like this, and her like trying to work within Avalanche. That seems new to me, but her gameplay looks awesome, and I can't wait to check it out and see how they, you know, go dive into this. And it looks like we're also going to be seeing a little bit more through her eyes of what happened in Midgar when they lost Cloud after fighting atop that bridge at the reactor when he you know, the bridge collapsed and he fell into Aerith's church. While they were separated, we're going to get a little bit of the other side of that story because we only really got Cloud's point of view there. So I like that too a lot. Man, god damn. I gotta get into PlayStation 5 right now is like next to impossible. If they're not available by this point, I don't know if I'm going to be able to avoid like giving into these scalpers, man. I've been fighting that drive till now mostly because there's not enough games on it to really pull me in. But if this expansion stuff, because Final Fantasy VII is like my second favorite to favorite, depending on in the time of day, video game of all time. So it's like holding it hostage at this point. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing that they announced, which is the next two are mobile editions for iOS and Android. The first is called Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. The only thing I know about this one is that it is, and I don't know how this is going to work, a battle royale set before the events of Final Fantasy VII. So let's check it out. 30 years before the events. Project Zero. Supplement their military prowess. Shinra forms soldier and experimental corps. Battle royale. So it's like training soldier. Join the fray, lay waste to your foes. Wow. Interesting. How do... Oh. So it looks like there's also a team element to it. I like the magic involved, the switching between guns and melee summons. As well as like NPC enemies, or is that a different mode? Can this like at least be on Switch or something? Playing this on mobile is going to be rough. But dude, that actually looked good to me. That actually looked really good. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. It basically is like looks like it's going into the origins of the soldier program. So is it just like that's just the gimmick to get you in the door for it, or is there actually going to be story elements to it? Are they going to expand on the soldier lore at all, or is it just going to be a battle royale set before all of the events that we really know, just so we can avoid that conflict and have a bunch of no-name soldiers going around slaughtering each other for the clicky bickies? I don't know. Uh, I'd be. I mean, I have a pretty strong tablet, so I'll probably give it a shot at least. So we'll see how that goes. The next one is a little more exciting. It again is a mobile game. It's called Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Um, Basically the description I saw for it is it's like a compact version of the entire Final Fantasy VII story, up till remake or the original story or something like that. But in the kind of in the vein of the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition was kind of what I was reading. So the art looked a little different. So I'm not too sure. Again, it's going to be iOS and Android. So we'll see. Let's check it out. Another possibility for a remake. An episodic return to Final Fantasy VII's world with a nostalgic visual twist. I like it. Like the art direction. Because honestly, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a sequel to Final Fantasy VII and not an actual remake. So maybe this is going to actually be a remake, but in pocket form. We're going to see any of the actual gameplay. Armor break, Fira. Oh, I can get behind it. When you actually get into a fight, it's the avatars from the game, from Remake, goes into that style. Hold up. You can't throw that at me that quick. Features the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII and more. Holy shit. See, people thought Remake was going to make Advent Children non-canon. That's not the truth. This wouldn't be happening if that was the case. Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. Dude, this remake thing is like a undertaking. Before Crisis, I never got to play back in the day. That was like a mobile game early on. I don't know if it ever got ported, but I've read the story. I know what it entails. But yeah, Advent Children, man. I have my theories, and I've talked about this when talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake as for what's going on. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's really interesting how they're bringing all of this into Remake, really. All right. Is that it? Oh, Zach. All right, you sold me on that. Worldwide 2022. All right, man. I'm down for that. Really down for that. That looks sweet. And it's just casual, man. It's like you can play through all the story. It looks like it's a straight remake, which is what everybody thought Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to be. and then people were very taken aback, and some rolled with it, some didn't, as to what the truth of the game was as we were going through it. But yeah, I like that they incorporated all those stories because a lot of them are like necessary to like getting everything that's going on in remake as well, in a lot of fashions, especially Crisis Core. Um, it's like definitely Crisis Core. That's definitely going to play a huge part into where the story's going. And I was really surprised that we're actually going to be revisiting Dirge of Cerberus, and that was in the remake. That was in the PS5 remake trailer that we're going to be revisiting that. Dude, if you get like a virtual fight against Vice, maybe it's like past Data and you fight him as like a boss fight. That'd be very Kingdom Hearts to do. Again, this is Tetsuya Nomura directing. So that's not too surprising. Man, I'm excited. I've never been more hyped up for like a mobile game. Because that seems like something you could easily just kind of sit back, relax, and just kind of like play through an iconic story with not like groundbreaking remastered effects or anything like that, but like in a very relaxed, chill kind of way, while having like a fresh coat of paint on it, a fun little play style, and then a way to get you kind of caught up into everything. And I like that they're doing that with the entire franchise. I'm curious how Advent Children is going to be on there. Are you going to watch Advent Children? Because it's not like it wasn't a game, it was a movie. So like how is that involved in there? Will you just have the movie as like an extra? Will it be its own thing? Kind of like the Kingdom Hearts compilations they've been releasing, coming with 2 games and then a cinematic inclusion. One of them converted into a cinematic. Maybe that'll be the case here. It'll be just included in the package as a cinematic. Or are they going to expand on Advent Children too? I don't know, guys. I'm actually really excited for this. I know a lot of people, especially people who are more fans of other Final Fantasy titles, get a little tired of how much attention Final Fantasy VII gets, but as somebody whose favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VII, as it was my first, I don't care. I'm sorry. I do wish that some of them would get some love, especially some more underrated ones like Final Fantasy VIII, which I adore. I think deserves a little more respect, especially with the fact that they lost the data and it took them so long to ever release a HD remaster of it because they just neglected it completely. I mean, 9 got it, 10 got it, 7 got it. Most of the games have gotten it. 8 just didn't because they just lost the source code. Oh my God. Well, my best friend's a Final Fantasy VIII fan. Like that's his favorite Final Fantasy game, and it's just like I feel so bad sometimes, man. Anyway, guys, what did you think of all these trailers? What do you think of the direction they're heading in this? What do you think about Final Fantasy VII Remake? What do you think about the current situation on obtaining a PS5 in the first place? Let's talk about it all. Oh man, I think out of last year, as far as games go, had Ghost of Tsushima not come out, Final Fantasy VII would have been my #1 game of last year. And the only reason that, despite nostalgia, despite the expert level of craft that went into Final Fantasy VII Remake, the only reason I gave Ghost of Tsushima an edge up on it was because it was an original IP. And a beautifully crafted game. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons, but like that was the main thing that I was able to look past my nostalgia to like recognize how good that game was. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on this whole situation. Let me know yours down in the comments below. We'll carry on that conversation after the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.